Whoa, what? I didn't even see the camera there. That's because I was too busy doing the once over on the mower, because you know what that means. We are starting dry hay 2025. So here we are at the Spencer farm. We're about to dig into a Timothy orchard alfalfa piece. Carl didn't believe me, but I was telling him that some of the orchard is actually nipple high. It is nipple high if I squat a little bit. There's kind of two types of farmers when it comes to mowing hay. Some that check the weather 6 times before they mow, and I'll get in here and I'll do a pass and I'll check the weather again. And then others who check the weather and don't look at it at all anymore. So I'm a little bit of a mix. I'll check it all the time. So let's look at it right here and see what we're getting into. Today is Friday, May 16th. Slight chance of rain at midnight midnight tonight, 12 a.m. tomorrow, suppose. Chance of rain Saturday. Don't love it. High of 67 Sunday, high of 65 Monday, high of 62 Tuesday, cloudy. Oh boy. It's a good thing we have something up our sleeve in that barn. Okay, let's dig into this crop a little bit. This is a Timothy Orchard alfalfa blend. We're only slightly after the middle of May, so we're not going to see much of a Timothy presence here. Timothy, at least the variety we plant and in our region, doesn't really show its head until pretty much the second week into June. It takes a while to actually mature. The orchard heads are extremely nice. You still have a little bit of that purple tint on it, so that's going to look amazing in a bale. It's right on the maturity really for orchard, maybe even a pinch behind depending on who you talk to, but being able to get in to make mid-May hay is excellent. It's going to sell well. You have some nice alfalfa down here in the mix. Looking at it here, I would call it close to 50-50, but I know by the time we bale it, a lot of the alfalfa is going to disappear just because there's so much stem and body on this grass. It's probably going to look more like a, I don't know, 80-20-ish mix. And this is very heavy and very thick, so we're going to have to ted it multiple times, and we'll see how much alfalfa actually remains by the time we try to get it dry enough to actually dry in the dryers. So we will see. You always have customers asking or, expectations of what the first crop's going to look like, and this is only one of many fields, but I threw out some feelers. Some people are pretty excited, but I don't really have an honest gauge until I have strings around it in a bale. But I do know that whatever it ends up looking like in the ratio, it is going to be nice and it is going to be prime. So what I'm not going to do is share with you the first, I don't know, probably 5 minutes of mowing. I got to get in, figure out what's going on, make sure it's cutting right, do the outside round. But as soon as I get comfortable on auto steer, I'll be right back and we'll film some action. Well, wish me luck. You ever sometimes think, yeah, I might be a semi-competent human being, and then you do something and you're like, yep, never mind. So I'm sitting here, it's like, I don't know, roughly 70 degrees outside. I'm sweating real bad. I'm over here on the console cranking the AC. Nothing's happening. I'm like, what is going on? It takes me like 10 minutes to realize all the vent covers were shut. Now I feel a lot better once those are opened up. Regardless of my lack of perception, we are mowing some phenomenal hay, and anyone can perceive that. Oh, man. It'll be a little more clear on the drone footage, but pretty much split. This field, this farm it's all hay now, and it's all pretty much the same mix, but it's like 4 different fields. I pretty much split the main field in half. I'm thinking it's gonna be somewhere around 50 acres we'll have down, which is honestly a really good start. This stuff will not get dry in the field. It'll only get dry enough to dry. So 50 acres will be enough to make sure all the balers are tying, make sure the dryers are functioning, make sure the Barons are tying, make sure the tedders work, make sure the rakes work. It'll be enough acres to make sure everything works. And the next time we get a nice weather window, we'll lock down this entire farm, and that's when we'll really get going. Alrighty, I got a little surprise for you guys. Now we are just flat out making it happen. We got Jake Ma in the other, self-propelled, and you know what that means. I think it's time to get the drone out. So we'll both get into this nice contiguous piece we have created. We're all on guidance lines, we're all matched up, machine sync, everything's good. We got the same roll gaps, swath flap, forming shield, pitch of the head, pressure the head's putting on the ground. We are synced up, baby. So we'll get the drone up in the air, see how we're looking. I'm not sure how we want to take this video. I think maybe we'll just do a little bit of this mowing, a little bit tedding, a little bit raking, a little bit baling, kind of show the full circle of the first day of making hay. And I guess if we also show the dryer, that could end up being a long video, but it'll give you guys a pretty good example of, the full circle of making hay. And what's really cool is we'll be able to stack in the brand new barn this year. We did not get to stack a single bale of hay in there straight out of the field because we didn't have a roof while we were actually making hay. So this year it is going to be a whole lot easier on us that we're actually going to be able to dry the hay and store it there instead of scramble and hurry up and take it back to the home farm, which ended up working okay. The home farm is about a 17 to 18 minute drive, so it's not terribly far, but the name of the game with this hay is the less you touch it, the more profitability you have. You spend a whole lot of time transporting it and touching it and all that, it just dwindles the margins. To make a long story short, it's a good thing we have a roof. It's going to pay for itself. only going about 6 miles an hour. I know that might seem slow to some of you guys. These are W260s. They got the horsepower to handle faster speeds, but we found that if you don't get going too much over 7 miles an hour, we think it does a better job crimping. And crimping, if you're not, I'm sorry, it's not really even a crimp, it's crushing. We have the tri-lobe roller, so it's a full contact the entire way. I'm trying to put 2 knuckles together, but I only have 1 hand. So it crushes the entire stem. And we think if you feed the forage through a little bit slower, we think it does a better job conditioning the hay. So we don't get crazy with ground speed. We don't need to get too crazy. We can go mow 140 acres, and that's about a good day. That's actually a huge day of baling. Usually really not bottleneck mowing, especially when we have nice dry fields and everything like that. So we just take it nice and slow. Jake and I are doing what's known as a skip pass. So we're skipping every other row, and that's so we can run together but also be cutting the forage in the opposite direction each pass. These headers and everything, the mowers do a real nice job, but sometimes on the ends of the mowers you'll kind of push the next row that you plan on doing forward a little bit. So if you come and hit it at the opposite direction, it picks it up in the direction that the opposite direction it was pushed, and it makes a nice clean cut. If you go up against the pass that you just went against in the same direction, and it continues to push it in that same direction, and it doesn't clean it up quite as nice. So this enables us to run together and be going opposite directions. Come back into this, leave the pass to my right alone, and Jake will come and hit it 2 swipes from now. So we're the day after we're mowing. I didn't get any footage of the tedder because that's probably, we're going to ted tomorrow and the next day. So at some point I'll get it. But we came here, today's Saturday, what, May 17th? 17th. Saturday, May 17th. We tedded twice. It's looking good. Not much sunshine, but a bunch of breeze. What's going through your head, Carl?
I don't know.
How long did it take us to ted it?
We started at 5.
And it's 6:04 a.m.
6:04. So
6:04 a.m. I guess.
Over an hour.
How do you know if that's going to be right?
Because we pulled in the driveway right at 5 o'clock. That's how I know.
Yeah.
Because I looked at the clock.
So any last thoughts?
No.
Are we going to be able to get it dry?
I don't. Yeah, we got hay dryers, remember?
That's the plan. There's absolutely no way we're going to get this field dried, but we're going to try to get it hopefully 22% or so, and that'll dry real nice, and we'll keep bundle integrity and all that. And we want to make sure the dryers are working, make sure all the balers are working. We also have a lot of new young bucks coming on board, so we got to make sure they kind of know what they're doing too. So this is a great introductory little spot, and we'll tune back in tomorrow. It's good my way. I gotta point out we are a multifaceted operation. Carl and I got done tedding, and we're about to pass my dad, who's planting corn for Conrad's. Hopefully he's planting. I don't know. He looks like he was chatting when we drove by initially, so we'll see if we can pass him. Soil moisture levels are a little bit iffy right now, but it's getting a little late in the season. People are just putting it in. I want to know how he fit through this 1-lane road here. It says max 12 foot. It says 12 foot.
It's wider than 12 foot.
You think the sign would lie? No, we're not going to measure. Come on. Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll stop traffic. Hey, slow up. Here we are, Sunday, May 18th. This is the 2nd day of tedding, the 3rd time tedding. Really not that fun, and I shouldn't say it's not that entertaining, I don't think so. I haven't filmed a lot. And I can't really put the drone up because I don't have auto steer or anything, and we're really particular about tedding. I think tedding might be the most important operation you do when you're making dry hay, besides choosing when to mow at the right time. Because any little misses or anything, that shows up in a flake and fail, it makes the bundle bad. You have to make sure you have 100% coverage. So I didn't want to throw the drone up in here, but I have this handy dandy little action camera we'll throw on the back of this Nancy Ferguson 8-basket tedder and see how it's laying out. Let's take a look at this product. Beautiful orchard alfalfa mix. I know I said we've tedded 3 times, but we still have quite a bit of leaf in there. There's quite a bit of moisture in there, but we have all of today. The weather is beautiful today. Should be decent tomorrow. Nice little bit of leaf. This is probably going to come in at close to like a 50-50 mix, I'd say. There, angled down. I'll put it off to the side. That should do something, huh? Enjoy the show. One thing that I want to mention about how we're very peculiar about tedding is we do not have auto steer, but we do have basically following a light bar. This is your typical John Deere screen here. And as you can see, I'm not really using my AB line, but I am kind of seeing where I'm overlapping with my swath. And I like that. It's not too bad right now, especially because there's a fairly distinct wet line I'm following because we're turning over a little bit of green. But you start having grass hay that you're just hitting one last time to maybe shake the dew or turn it over or whatever, and there's not much of a difference in color. It can be hard to see where your last pass was. This format here really helps. We like this. All right, we're here on, what is this, day 3 now? Monday, May 19th. Say hi, Carter. Hi. Carter's one of the new guys. We only have him for a couple months. He's gonna be a firefighter, but he's gonna help us out for the bulk of the season. Got everything lined up. We got the dryers ready to go. We got some straw spread in there. We finally have a roof on the barn, so we're gonna be able to dry the hay and stack it right on. What do you think, PJ?
I think that's good with the roof.
So we got my dad and Carl out here raking. The hay is not bad. It's, what's my guess? It's probably gonna probe 22%, I would say, and we've tested it 3 times now, so it's a very even 22%, which is what you really kind of have to have going into the dryer. You have to dry the wettest part of the hay, right? So if you have variability throughout the field, well then, you know, some of the hay you might think is 29%, so you're drying it extra long. You're cooking the dry stuff just to get the wettest stuff actually dry. So the more even, significantly the better on the whole operation. And I think that's pretty much true for anything. But there is some crunch to the hay. Really beautiful orchard alfalfa. Got some leaf in there, some nice orchard head. There's still some purple on the orchard heads, which is awesome. A little bit of crunch. You're gonna notice, well, I don't know if you'll notice, I can notice, pretty much squared off with the shop there. This was seeded the spring of 2020, I think. And then we seeded just there on the other side, that whole other piece, and pretty much the rest of the farm, the fall of 2020. So there's a little bit of a difference. Slightly heavier alfalfa out there in the center. This has a little bit more orchard content. I'll probably keep them separate. I don't think anyone's gonna care. The hay is all really, really nice. Some crunch, some color. This is not bad. We'll get the drone up in the air. We will see the guys raking some hay. We got the telehandlers ready to go. We are running a new 1842S this year, so that's 2 1842Ss. I think we have maybe 3 or 4 other 1840s here. We'll get going. Here we go. We're getting ready for the first bales of the year. I'm passing off the torch. Young Buck is training another young buck. Jake is training Carter on one of the nice refurbished 1840s. We had Lau and Young go through, I think, this one this winter, so hopefully it works. We're obviously got our fancy new scales. I kind of splurged. I got some blue ones, and Justin requested a red one down there. Spent a little bit of money on them. I bought 7 of them. They're $7 each. So that's 49 bucks. No, because I lost 7 last year. So that's one of the expenses that have to go into hay. You remember how to bale, Jake? You can't reach it? There you go. All right, good luck, throttle jockey. The first few flakes of 2025. Say hi, YouTube.
What's up?
So because this baler was empty, the chamber's gonna, the first couple bales are gonna suck, but they'll be a little better now. These balers have a winter's worth of rust and debris and everything built up, so I'm gonna let them bale each about 20 bales before I make any adjustments to the chamber pressure. They're tying though. That's more than half the battle. We got Mason moisture testing, 19.2. Let's jab in another spot. 17.26. Not bad, all right. Not too bad, it's fairly even, so that's good. We got 2 of the balers dialed in. They're making about a 48-pound bale. I think the average moisture is probably 22-ish%. So if we can take 3-4 pounds off that bale when we dry it, that'll be pretty great. Probably gonna have to dry for probably 18 to 20 minutes just to be safe. This young May first cutting it's tricky because sometimes there's some seeds still in the stem, so you have like double layer dryness that you have to get through and things. So there's some nuances to actually completely curing out the hay itself. So we'll probably over dry, and that's all right. I think we have 9 loads of this stuff already booked. So I'd rather be much safer than sorry, because they're gonna start going out here pretty fast. The rakes looks like they're finishing up. It's a good day. May 19th, hey, there's no way we do it without that setup over there. But because we got that, here we are about to do it. Got Justin dialed in on the brand new 1842S, 32-inch bale. Weights are good. He's doing the outside rounds. We can finally do the outside rounds because the rakes are done. Before the rakes finish, you can't really do the outside rounds because then you'd be dropping bales in the way of where they need to turn, and that's not great. So here's my dad. Let's see how he did. How'd you do raking? Pretty good?
Yeah.
The old Johnny's running for you? Hey, what do you got? You got a padded seat now?
Yeah, I got a padded seat now.
He was all excited waiting for Amazon one day. His eyes were glued to the front porch. Like, what are you waiting for? He's waiting for his padded seat he ordered. But it looks like it's treating him pretty good. He spends a lot of hours on that tractor, and I guess just needs a little more cushion. As the tractor gets older and as he gets older, you know? We got Carl's the last baler to dial in. He'll be baler number 5 out here today. That's all we got for today. We got a skeleton crew. I didn't want to get overloaded with people. We have a lot of great guys that come in part-time and bale for us, but we have a couple new young bucks here and I wanted to get them all seat time. So we got 5 balers running. We'll get the Barons going and we'll start up the dryer. Carl and my dad did a great job raking. They pretty much always do. They're probably some of the best rake men in the country, I would argue. That was still a pinch heavy. A little heavy yet. Soldiers are out in the front lines. It's time for the, I don't know, mounted cavalry to come in. The Bale Baron, we'll get this dialed in. It has been, well, we baled a lot of hay, so I guess that's a lie about not running it, but I haven't ran a Bale Baron in the field in, I don't know, probably 8 months or so. So we'll see if I remember how to do this. We did it once over, greased it. These things are super nice. There's really not a tremendous amount of maintenance on these. So we did our once over. We'll see if I remember how to run. I'm sure it remembers how to run itself. The operator I'm kind of worried about. Oh yeah, the Massey purr. Okay, we got the fancy smancy all-inclusive ISO in here. Let's go to the home screen. Nope, that's not what we want. Be able to see it through ISOBus. Turn it on. There we go, look at that, synced up. PTO, rev up to 1,000. Select mode, let's do this. Second time. We made sure they were running the other day. So we got our handy dandy manhole right here. Go over to our Conex boxes. Filled up with diesel. These babies burn 16 gallons an hour. Alright, so we got, I think all we do, if I remember correctly, hit run, and it has a delayed start. We gotta find a new system because we used to take these ropes and tie it closed, but now we got a nice pole in the way, so we gotta wrap this pole or something. They're identical machines, so identical startups. Have to preload the oven or the cool-down table because we're under roof and we'll just leave it loaded from here on out. What we're going to do is set our dry time. I think we're going to start with 20 minutes and see how that looks. And then what we want to do here is we need to go to manual and we'll have to manually move each bundle over until we fill up this table. put that one on, the machine will automatically feed. By the time it's done drying, you'll have another push on the cool down table, and it'll be fully encapsulated or closed off. So that way the air has resistance going up through the hay instead of a gap that it can just shoot out.